Ambassador, the rationale behind this war is now being questioned. We're not talking about the LPG crunch anymore. We're talking about why this war and who's really in the driving seat. So, if Iran posed an imminent threat, why do assessments from the IAEA last year, from somebody like Tulsi Gabbard herself, and even past US intelligence, why do they suggest otherwise? What are we missing here? When a senior officer like Joseph Kent blows the lid on something like this, says this war was avoidable and not in American interest, what are we missing? What do we understand? What is the significance of this resignation in the so many days of the war that we've witnessed?
Good evening, Kabir. I think you have put the finger on the point, really. You're right at the top of the things here. The question here is who was driving the war? And if you want to really understand that, I think we need to go back to the October 2023, when Hamas attack actually began. There was a Hamas attack in Israel. More than 500 people died over there.
Yeah.
The fact is that as far as Israel is concerned, Iran has been the biggest threat, not just Iran, but Iran and the proxies, which is Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis. And therefore, it always has been, if you recall, even at that time, just, was it October last year? When there was an attack from Israel, 12 days war began, and there was an attack on the Iranian facilities from Israel. And they, soon after, USA followed with Operation Hammer.
Midnight Hammer, yeah.
Midnight Hammer, when they claimed to have destroyed the entire nuclear infrastructure of Iran and the missile bases and everything, which obviously either that was correct or what is happening now is correct. So the point really here is, if you look at the statements from not just Kent, but if you look at the statements from Omani's foreign minister, the UK National Security Advisor, and also, I mean, more than anything at all, if you look at the reports from the IAEA, who have consistently clarified that Iran did not have a nuclear weapon program, and that Iran was doing all the nuclear things under reporting, safeguard reporting to IAEA, with the exception of a small period when Ahmadinejad was the president of Iran, and there was a breakdown in cooperation between Iran and IAEA for a short while. Iran has always cooperated with the IAEA in terms of sharing information. And therefore, it is not nuclear program. And please do remember, in January, while nuclear program was the issue, very soon it expanded to the missile. It expanded to the proxy war, Iranian proxies. So the agenda was not just nuclear program. Agenda was not just missile. Agenda was Iran and what was seen as the Iranian proxies. And clearly that was not the USA, it was Israel. And therefore what has now come in the open is not really a secret. I think that is what the community of international strategy experts had been talking all the time, that this is the war in which USA has been dragged, practically dragged into these kind of actions.
You're right, Ambassador, and you've given us those credible examples that when diplomacy is active, both times, even in the 12-day war last time, there was some sort of diplomacy that was happening. Even here, they had talks in Geneva. They were waiting for the third round of talks in Vienna with all those neutral parties that, like I mentioned earlier on as well, the UK NSA said that it was surprising the kind of concessions that Iran was ready to take on. What justifies military action when diplomacy is active? And when something like this is happening, unilaterally, the United States of America taking action, notwithstanding the argument whether who was in the driving seat, how damaging is this for US's own credibility as a negotiating power in the future?
Sorry, is that question addressed to me?
Yes, Ambassador.
Yes. See, the point is that USA continues to be a major power in the world. And therefore, USA is seen by most of the countries, including Indo-Pacific, China, ASEAN, as a country with a credible power to be able to swing quote unquote deals. And therefore, even if Trump is not relied upon, USA as a power to reckon with will remain there. What happens now really here is that after this Iran war, the kind of difficulties, the economic difficulties that US has gone into, the gasoline has gone beyond $5 a gallon. Midterm elections are close by.
Yep.
And therefore, it is not the USA per se. It is the presidency which has been called into question and the result consequences of his actions. Therefore, what I would say here is that one immediate result of this is China is going to become a more predominant power in Gulf.
Yeah.